We talk about living this life on your terms, fulfilling your business dreams, moving abroad, founding your own companies, and the daily struggle this brings with it. But also why it's all worth it, and why this life is going to be your dream life. Welcome to Maria Unleashed. Enjoy the episode. Hi guys, Maria here. Welcome back to the podcast. Today I want to talk a little bit about holistic wellness and holistic health and what does it actually mean. But before we jump right into it, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for supporting me so far. So I'm like 13 episodes in and I have like 12 subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you guys so much. So I see you. I appreciate you. Also, thank you if you left a 5-star review. You guys, it means the world to me and it really helps me to continue my journey. So thank you guys for your support. I see it and I appreciate it deeply. All right, so holistic, what's going on? So I hate labels. That's just what it is. I really don't like it at all. Whether that is organic or vegan or holistic or sustainable and whatnot. I mean, there are so many labels out there. The problem is I really like the idea behind it. It's just a word. So it is just a word. What it describes just an action. And for me, I really like the idea behind it. So everything I do in my private life and also my business, I try to do as sustainable as possible, environmentally speaking. But obviously, I'm also building a sustainable business financial wise. So it's very important to really look at the big picture. And there's nothing wrong with a sustainable approach. Yet, it's just horrendous what they did with the, organic and natural and sustainable words, as in, they put it onto a label and they really raped the shit out of it. And nowadays I look at products or whatever and I see just sustainable somewhere and I'm like, dude, no, like really no. And I am a sustainable business owner, you know what I mean? Like I am living for that and I can't see it anymore. I cannot stand it anymore. That's terrible. That's just so terrible. So I totally understand that people roll their eyes and like, oh no, just please don't. Totally get that. And now the new thing is holistic, but it's really not a new thing. Holistic means, at least that is how I view it, it just simply means looking at a whole. You look at a whole picture. You can also say you look at it on all dimensions or on all levels. So that's what it means. It's just instead of, looking at one random symptom, we are basically looking at, like if we speak about our health, our skin health, we look at the entire human being based on the body, mind and soul. So, and for many people, when I say body, mind and soul, they are already, and they're rolling their eyes again. And again, I can't blame them, hey? I mean, there were times when I literally, and again, like I like the idea behind it, but even I lived in Berlin back in the day. And when I came down to Cape Town and people were greeting me, my first day there or my first night there. And it's like, hey, what's up? You just start talking, what's going on and what do you do here and blah. And it's like, whatever. But here I'm the best version of myself. And I'm so, they were very spiritual and very much into all of that. And I don't mind that at all because I am too. It's just that from Berlin, everyone there really had this mission and you needed a label. So if you weren't vegan, you were a shit human being. If you weren't this, you are that, and I don't like that. I don't like to push people into these corners and just to, put a label onto them. And if you don't like or wear that label anymore, then something's wrong with you, which is not true. So, and that is why I really struggle to label, my products, but I obviously also have to put keywords into the system, of course, so you guys can find my products. So it is not easy. And that is why I, instead of just saying, I'm using different words and that word is shit and I don't want to use, like, honestly, right now, I want to just relabel everything into a different word because holistic is also on a way to becoming sustainable. You know what I'm saying? And that makes me a little bit sad. But on the other hand, like I have to describe my products and my philosophy behind my business, behind my service, my products. So yeah, obviously, so you know, if you are looking for that type of service or product, you will find me. So that is obviously a struggle. And because for me also it has this personal bittersweet taste. But yeah, in general, so if you hear holistic, please don't roll your eyes just yet. It doesn't mean anything. It is just a word that describes that we are looking at the entire person and the background and what's going on. So instead of just, if we again, if we just look at the skin condition or if we just look at the overall health, you know, you have a symptom. Let's take it for my business, Green Planet. It's a, I don't know, dry, red, itchy skin or a skin disease. So yeah, people usually come, they buy a product that states whatever, you know, XYZ skin disease or dry skin or day cream, night cream, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they go for that and they put that on. What they don't realize is that pretty much every product you find out there is the same. So just look at the label. Okay, and now these days you really have, we have our knowledge at our fingertips, like literally. So you can easily just research everything. For me, because I'm in training, so I've been doing that since I'm a teenager. But back in the day, we didn't have a smartphone. So I was like, you know, I was standing there like, what am I looking at? And I tried to memorize these long, ridiculous words. And I'm like, what is that? And yeah, so now I'm very grateful that, you know, you don't have to do that anymore. So you can literally just look it up, find a lot of different studies. And so yeah, basically what I'm trying to say is that unfortunately I know the other side. Like I am a customer, but I'm also a business owner. So I'm dealing with labs and all the marketing as well. And coming, you know, my previous job was in the advertising industry, in the film industry. So unfortunately, I know the other side to it as well. And people don't always have your best interest in mind. That's unfortunately just what it is. But they are forced by law to put the ingredients onto the label. So even though these guys, you know, they just want to sell their product and they want to make it sound amazing. And yeah, we all want to believe the lies. Let's face it. That's what it is. We all want to be young and beautiful forever. Even though we all know that's never going to happen, still, people want to believe the lie. And they are spending a lot of money on it. So the problem here is that most people, they want this quick fix. So instead of just really listening to the symptom of the body, because dry skin or a skin disease or headache or, you know, whatever, toothache, I don't know, it is just a symptom. It is one symptom. And your body is in this moment communicating with you. It tells you, or it's trying to tell you, hey, something's not right. So when people come, like especially with a headache or like back pain, you know, it's like they just pop a pill, like a quick fix, done. And then they continue doing the stuff that's giving them a lot of pain, which is crazy if you think about it, right? Sure, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I get it, you know. But then at some point you should all pause and just really listen to it, because otherwise it's going to manifest in like really, really bad, terrible disease. And so instead of just going to the quick fix, so we are just popping a pill, or we are going to the shop buying the label that says XYZ, you know, matching our symptom, and then we apply it and then we get that quick relief, because the ingredients in there are designed to give you a quick and very fast relief. So you are like, oh, okay, cool, nice. But then everyone who's using cosmetic products or like even painkiller and what, you know, it's not forever. It's just, you know, it lasts only so long. So what do? You usually go back and eat or apply more of these products. And that's a bit of an issue, because right now you are creating this like downward spiral, and it's a never-ending story. So what I like to do instead is I look at the big picture. So I'm talking to people. What are you, you know, how are you sleeping at night? What's going on? Are you very busy? Are you stressed? Are you anxious? What's going on? Because your skin really is the mirror of your inner soul, you know, it shows. And like, yeah, that is for me, just that's why I'm saying like holistic is really just a normal common sense approach. Everyone who says, oh, I don't do holistic because it's too hippy dippy, it doesn't get the word, because I know it seems like it's hippy dippy because the way we are using it and the way people look, we all have, again, we labeled it. We put a visual on this word, and now people are like, oh no, I reject it. I don't like it. And I get it. But still, the approach is amazing. The approach is just, for me, that's the only way, really. If you want relief that's long lasting and healthy, that's the only way. So yeah, there we are, back to the struggle of how to explain this and using labels. But so yeah, I really hope that you kind of understand where I'm coming from. So it's very important to really look at the big picture. So whether it's skin, whether it's your job, whether it's something else, it look at all the levels, look at all of the different levels, and then really listen and take a moment, because once, at least that's my experience, when I was busy, and especially during my film time and advertising time, I was like, nonstop. I mean, wow, I had so much. My energy level was through the roof constantly. I loved it though. I loved it. Like the adrenaline and everything. It's just like, oh my gosh, give me more. But what also happens is it kind of numbs everything else. So I wasn't listening when my body was whispering, right? I only started listening when my body was screaming at me. And even then, I took it as why can't you know? What is wrong with you? Why? Just function. I have to work, right? And that's how I saw it. I was like, okay, and now, everything's going to shit, and now my body decides to also just turn its back on me. Excuse me. I was very, very pissed at my own body and like really angry. Honestly, I was like, what is it doing? Why are you not working? Like, I mean, there you see it, like taking for granted when you are healthy. Honestly, like, let's face it, right? So I experienced that the very first time, like for real. I had a few other very intense signs before, which I totally ignored because I was early 20 and I thought, what the fuck? I don't care. Just, let's go. And when I was 26, at some point, like one day, I couldn't get up. I couldn't get out of bed anymore. I was in so much pain. And little did I know that was my life for the next 7 years. So, yeah, don't let it get to that point, really. But now I'm actually glad that it happened, even though it wasn't a good thing. Like for my body, it was terrible what I did to myself. But I'm very glad it happened, because that really taught me so much so early on. Because I could have just continued like this for the next, I don't know, maybe another 10 years, maybe until my 40s, or I don't know, and then suddenly have that crash. But because it happened in my 20s, and during a time where I was really at a crossroad as well, I decided to listen. And I started getting help. So when I was in Berlin, I was still in my old industry, and that happened, and I was like so upset, what's going on? Can someone help me? So going to all the doctors, and then in Germany it's like very hard to get like an appointment at all, and then people are just like, yeah, how long do you want to be ill for? Pull a sickie kind of shit. And I'm like, no, I want to go back to work now. It's just, can you just tell me what I have? Like, what can I do to make it stop? How can I help myself to get better? And they were completely like, yeah, I'm going to give you this and this painkiller. And I'm like, no, I don't eat painkillers. Keep it. Just tell me, just look at me, please, and tell me what's going on. And no one did. And then I wanted to start physiotherapy. Yeah. I mean, that was a joke. I mean, you guys, that was a joke. So I had to wait 3 months. And I was like, when I got there, I was like, what now? No. In 3 months, I'm back on track. I'm healthy again. Like, no, I don't need help in 3 months. I need help right now. So yeah, and also I had plans to go to America. I was going to go to the US for the very first time in my life. And I was, planning this for 10 years. And I was like, no. I am fulfilling my dream, and I'm so going. And I want to be fit and healthy when that happens. Fit. So when you hear me say fit, it's usually the German fit, as in like healthy and active. So yeah, it's funny, hey, in the UK, fit means something entirely different. It's so funny. Sometimes the lost in translation is, it's interesting. So yeah, but that's when you hear me say that, it's usually the German fit, which means very just active and healthy. So yeah, that was me, 26, and like, nope, I'm going to the States and I'm gonna just figure it out myself. But at that point, I really didn't understand that my body wasn't punishing me. My body was really trying to just protect me from myself. And I just didn't see it back then at all. And I got really great help from doctors in the US, which is funny enough because in Germany we have, or people have this idea of uh, there is no insurance in the States, there is no good healthcare system, there is no, you don't ever get help. So if you are ill, you're basically dead. And so, yeah, it's very interesting how they view the system in the US. Uh, and then again, when I went there, when I met my friends, so now friends, we obviously also talked about different systems and Europe and the US and what's going on and what do we like and what's weird and what's totally different. And they say, yeah, but your healthcare system is so amazing, this and that. And I'm like, well, I don't know, based on what? Like, have you been? Have you done? No, but that's what they say. I'm like, that's interesting because they tell us the exact opposite story about you guys. And I'm like, well, listen, yeah, you can. Yes, you need to have an insurance in Germany. You can't go without. So that is a must. It's mandatory for everyone. But this insurance is very expensive. So, you have to, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I've experienced all different types now. And honestly, the German one is not my favorite at all. And I try to avoid it at all costs, actually, because there are expats insurance out there that are so much better and like, like at half the price I paid in Germany, and I actually get help because I can choose the doctors I go to. I can go to people that are actually still in there to help people and that have time. So in the US, for instance, whenever I go, yeah, I have to pay cash. I didn't care. So back then I paid double. I had to pay the one in Germany, and then I also had to pay the one, the private one, the private doctors I chose. So I paid them as well, which was the best investment ever. And these guys, for the very first time, actually took their time. So they had a time slot for you. And you could actually, so the really, like I was 10 months in with my issue. And I've seen so many, or tried to see a lot of doctors. And whenever I was there, I was literally like in and out in a minute. And no one listened, no one looked at me, no one was actually interested in helping me. They were just all basically writing me like a pain killer description and like a whatnot here for your boss so you don't have to work, which I chucked in the bin immediately because I wanted to go back to work. Like, what? So yeah, weird. And so yeah, there in the States, I literally was like, hey, the first time someone asked me what's going on, like, okay, tell me, what's your job, what are you doing, like, when did it start, what happened when it started, anything worth mentioning, what. So, and from these like therapy sessions then, so it was a doctor and then I had therapy with a guy and he was amazing. And I learned so much from him. And then after my trip to the States, I went back to South Africa. And over there, I also found a great therapist who helped me so much. And then these two guys, like Nick and Benny are their names. They are like incredible. I would, if I could, these guys would be on my payroll. Like really, just to have these guys in your life is amazing. So yeah, and then Benny, the one in South Africa, he's like, because I came there and he can hypnotize people. And so I went to him and I said, okay, I need you to hypnotize me. So I forget that I'm in pain and I can just go back to normal. So that was basically my strategy. I was just like, okay, I suffered enough now, unfortunately, and I'm laughing now, but it was so bad that I couldn't even remember what it was like to walk like normal, to get up, to sleep, you guys. I couldn't even sleep. Like turning around in my sleep, I woke up screaming because I was in so much pain. And I am not like a little softie. Like I can endure pain, but that was something different. That was insane. Like every time it took my breath away and it was tears running down I couldn't even help it. It was just really like this, oh my God, what was that? Okay, so constantly, every day. And yeah, it was horrible, really horrible. And especially like the worst about it was that no one could tell me what it was. Just the part of not knowing that for me was the worst. This completely, like, if you can tell me at least that's the issue, then I can find a solution. But this not knowing what's going on, and at some point I was like, okay, that's all in my head. Like I'm fucking, like, that's me. Like I'm mentally not here anymore. Like that, it must be me. It was really like, it was a bad period in my mid-20s. But then again, I really tried and listened, and I just seeked help. And I found amazing help. And then Benny said to me, after me coming there, saying, hey, so you have to help me now because I can't remember what it's like to be pain-free. So please just hypnotize me and make me go back to the time where it was normal for me to get up. Because obviously after a while, you just, like, every time you just want to get up, it's like, oh no, wait, I have to slowly. And that's so bad because then everything else, like my entire body was so off at some point. And so yeah, he goes like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I liked him immediately. So yeah, cool guy. I really, really appreciated him a lot. So I had a few sessions with him. And the very first session, he also said, like, after he laughed at me, like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. No, sit your ass down. And so he also, like, let's go back in time. Like, what was the first time, you noticed that, and blah. And then we established, and that was so crystal clear, that it was ridiculous that I didn't see it. So now I know what causes it, because I actually had that early on when I was 18 and 19. That also happened, not to that degree. And it was always, I know now what triggers it. And so that's a good one to know. And also what Benny told me was, like, for me, it was so bad. I was so mad at myself at some point, and that creates so much negativity, so much really shit and bad energy hanging, like, onto you, and it's like, it really makes your world look all gray and black, and it's not a nice view of life. And he really helped me to just understand, hey, your body doesn't want to punish you. Why do you believe your body wants to punish you? No, it is protecting you. It's like it's like shouting out, like, Maria, please listen to us. I want to help you, but you need to listen, because right now you're going, like, over the cliff. And you guys, so he said that in the very first session, and it was literally that it was, I don't know what happened, but a switch went on, and like, holy shit. And I realized what I've been doing for a year back then. So it was already a year. And I'm like, oh my God, no. And I apologized to myself. And I was like, holy shit, how could I not see it? How did I not see it? What's going on? And so we also established for me like an approach I'm, by the way, still using today, which really also helped to, like, really just listen, because, and that is what I mean, like, your body sends you signals all the time. And it can be something with your skin. It can be, I still get that. So my skin also shows me immediately what's going on. I wrote a very good article about that actually just recently. If you want, I'm gonna put it down below in the description. So head over, if you like, to my free content where I write exactly about stuff like that. And also, if you are into that kind of, holistic approach, lifestyle, also sign up to my newsletter if you like, because, like, around once a month I always send out very useful tips and tricks, and also, just anything that happened and that helped me, I like to share with my community. And yeah, if you are into that, definitely head over to my website and sign up, or read the free content I publish over there. So as I said, like, your body sends you little signals along the way. It's just that we don't really pay attention to it until it screams at us. And so with him together, we established a little pattern I'm still using. So it's literally like, okay, cool. So now pay more attention to it. So don't let it get to a 10 or 12 or 15, out of 10. So really just, okay, like, say, I said, okay, you know what, Benny, I want like 5. Because 5, if it's just a 1 or 2, I'm like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's fine. My body has to handle it. I'm strong. So I'm like, okay, 5. 5 for me is like, okay, if it's a 5, I'm listening. And I'm like, okay, hang on there for a second. What's going on? So now I'm trying not to even get to the 5, you know, now I'm trying to not even have a 1. I'm actually now in the process of getting to, hey, I don't even let it go that far, you know. So, but back then, so again, that's 7 years ago, I was like, okay, cool. So now I do it step by step because I know I cannot change overnight. So I'm going to do step by step, and now it's a 5. So if my body, if the pain is a 5, I will stop and I will listen and I will sit down and I will just listen. And then he gave me different techniques on how to find out what's going on and how to be in communication with my body, which sounded completely crazy to me back in the day. And it was insanely hard for me to sit still and listen, you guys. I mean, it's like the easiest because you're literally doing nothing. And for me, that's very hard. Oh, it's very, very hard. Yeah, and sitting there and to really focus and kind of also empty your head, one of the hardest achievements in life for me, and to really just sit there in peace and quiet and to just, you know, let your body speak through you and listen to the little signs. So what he taught me was like, you have to ask very simple yes or no questions. You know, is it because usually, I mean, come on, often, again, like now looking back, how could I not see it, what it was? It was so obvious, but I didn't see it. Maybe I didn't want to see it. I don't know. But it is usually pretty obvious what's going on. But yeah, looking in the mirror, looking at the truth, oof, yeah, it's tough. But it's so worth it, really. Because again, then you find solutions and you are becoming the better version of yourself. You're stepping up the game and that feels good. So yeah, that's what I did. I learned to really listen to my body, ask very simple yes or no questions. And then again, sit there, sit still and listen. Do I get anything? A sensation, a little pain, a little vibration. So that was actually what happened for me. It's like almost like my nerves are a little bit like vibrating. But then I didn't know. Okay, is that it? Is the vibrating a yes or is that the no? And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I really had to do all the homework and just really, really get to know my body, myself, and like check in with myself. Yeah, that was my journey in my mid-20s until now, and it's a never-ending process. But I'm so glad that I learned the tools so early on. And now I'm looking back and I was in so much pain and it was tough, you guys. It was hard. It was painful. I cried so much and I really felt very sorry for myself as well. And then that also made me appreciate my health. And then at some point I was like, wow, like imagine you are in a wheelchair and everything I do, I could not be doing. Like imagine you always need someone to get you somewhere, like, or flying around or just doing a road trip by yourself. It's not possible. So that gave me a very, very deep sense of gratitude for my health and that it's really not, it shouldn't be taken for granted. So, you know, and then it became like the worth I put onto my health was, you know, it's like the most important part. And it sounds so crazy when people always say like, yeah, that's the, you know, or usually it's older people that tell you that's the most important. It doesn't matter if you earn a lot of money. It doesn't matter if you whatnot, but you know, your health. And you're like, yeah, because when you are young, you are healthy and in the best case. And it's like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, until you are not. And then suddenly it all makes sense. So yeah, that's a little bit of my journey. But again, like that was my process. And that was also the point where I changed jobs. Not because I didn't like my job anymore. I love my job. I love my job now. I loved my job back then. It's amazing. And I would do it all again. I would do it all again. And I wish I had more time. I would probably do even more of all the jobs I did because it was so amazing. And even the shitty jobs, they were the best lessons. Those made me the person I am right now. So yeah, no, it's good, man. It's not just, you don't just need the reward, you know, this like matching, you know, the success matching your bank account and stuff, and that's all fun and games, and that's amazing. That's great. That's just, you know, that is also the value we put on that number also equal to know, hey, I did a good job because it reflects in my bank account, which is very sad. But let's face it, that is what it is in our society. Or yeah, that's all nice. But this big paid job that did not, I didn't gain anything from it. This big paycheck did not make me a better person. It didn't make me improve my skills. All the jobs before did that, or the part where I failed and where I had to find a solution to get back up. These jobs made me strong and just excellent. So yeah, it is always this like balance. Oh, balance is a very good one. So that is a label I like a lot. Balance is an important one. I actually have that on my list for a podcast as well. But just to wrap it up here, holistic is really nothing more than to look at the bigger picture and to really calculate in your emotions and also the stress level. And for me, it also is a lot of, it's like if I apply for visas, for instance, like my life and the choice of like my living choice where I want to live is now dependent on some random person that doesn't know me, that's not interested in my story, in my journey, in my, he's like, I'm a number for that person. And then that person decides over your, I don't want to say destiny because it sounds so wild, but yeah, they really decide what's going to happen in your life for the next years and whether or not you can live your dream life or not. And that always stresses me out a lot because, I don't mind, like, I don't need easy. I just need possible. But now this is all taken from me because someone else has now, the card in their hand, and it's like, that for me is very, very stressful because I know that I can work so hard on me and I know that I can achieve anything I want. It might take time, but I know I will get there. But if someone else, if my life now depends on someone else, I don't know what they're going to do and how they feel. And, and now suddenly that's completely out of my control. And there's nothing I can do. Damn, that stresses me out. Like, that really annoys me. So, yeah, and that's basically what happened very often during that period of my life. So my stress levels were, it was insane. I'm very, very grateful that my body is still doing, such a great job, and that also my skin is like better than ever, that it's not like, I don't know, not making me feel bad or like punishing me for treating it so bad, for treating myself so bad. Like, your body won't do that. It's just so happy that you finally listen and that you take care of yourself now. And that is so, so important. So, and I really hope that I can help you with the service I offer, but also the products I offer. Because again, from my experience, and then, that was again the crossroad where I was like, okay, I'm changing the last bits as well, because I already changed a lot in my skincare routine. I was always very active and healthy. Like, I'm doing a lot of sports since ever. So that's always been part of it. But then the stuff, I eat, like, especially as a teenager, but I guess, when you're a teenager, it is what it is. And you knock yourself out, whatever. But again, it's a balance. And again, we did a lot of sports. We didn't have a car. No one drove us anywhere. So we walked, we cycled all day long, and just, out in nature. So I guess all fine. And so step by step, I started when I was 20 to actually, that was the first time I had like a smartphone. I was then looking up, as I said, like, now I'm standing in the shop researching all the labels and ingredients, and I'm like, damn, what is going on? And that was so interesting. And then I'm like, why would you put that in there? And that is when I started to really, develop an interest into that, and also trying to figure out why would a company do that. Yeah, that was until I started working for advertising, and then it was all clear. Oh my, it's a naughty business. But I was on the production side, and the production team that is like my dream scenario. I really loved my job. I loved my teams. And so, yeah, that is also like this love-hate, I love again, I would do it again. But at some point I just couldn't do it anymore, because I knew that I was part of the issue. I was part of the problem. I was part of this, promoting to make other people sicker and feel worse and feel ashamed of themselves and feel ugly and feel fat and I don't know, whatever it is, Also the trends, I'm gonna do a podcast about that as well. You guys don't ever fall for trends because they come and go, and the only one losing is you. So just really don't bother. Do not. It doesn't matter. Find your style. Do what you like doing. Wear what you want to wear, and just be happy and healthy. And that already makes half. That puts half the money in the bank, and then the rest is just a little bit of detail. That's it. But I can only recommend really just do your own thing. Do what makes you feel happy. Don't be egoistic and selfish and just like me. Also not good. Again, there the balance comes in again. But, in the end, really, do you, be you, and just, have fun along the way. Be healthy, be naughty, keep the balance, and it's all good. So that is my approach. Also, I would never, when people come, or like with my one-on-one classes and sessions and my workshops as well, and people come and they want to be like, it's like almost like the A student, and I'm like, listen, don't stress yourself too much, like go slow, and I want you to enjoy the process. I want you to like creating your own skincare recipes, because if I just say you have to do it and you have to do it all, that's just another one on our list, and we don't need more on our to-do list because it's stressful. No. And I also know that from my experience, if it's no fun, if I feel like, again, I have to do it, I'm gonna reject it. It's gonna fade away, I'm not gonna be consistent with it. But that is what you need to be. If you want to be healthy, if you want to have beautiful, like really incredible skin and hair, which is so easy to achieve if you just, do it in a very smart and common sense, aka holistic approach. It's very easy, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, why did no one tell me earlier? At least that was for me. So I know I'm not going to overwhelm you. I'm never going to push you in a corner and say it worked for me, now it's going to work for you. No, because that's not true. Maybe something that doesn't work for me is perfect and ideal for you. But I'm always going to be honest with you. And I will always, you are always my main concern. It doesn't matter what I did and what my best friend and what my mother do right now. It doesn't really matter. You matter to me. So I want to make your life easier. In the same way I made myself, Green Planet was actually just, I made that for myself. I never had the intention to start selling it and creating a business around it. That just happened. So it is literally, I designed and created my very own dream products, and they helped me so much. And just a few days ago, I had a long weekend in Malaga, and every time I pack my bag, I'm like, I cannot believe how few products I need and how amazing I still look. And again, you guys, love yourself. And I compared to what it used to be years ago, where I had my beauty case was 5 kilograms of products, and it was this half an hour routine, and I was like, what am I doing? And the problem was I made everything worse. So my skin was always worse. It was good the few hours right after. It felt amazing and oh, it looks so soft, wow. But then 6 hours later, it was all gone, and suddenly it was all dry and itchy. And what did I do? What everyone does? We go back and apply more. And then at some point, I couldn't be without any products anymore. And I'm like, I don't want to be dependent on all this. And no, dude, it really makes me feel anxious again. No. So now I literally just had a story about it where I was like, can you believe I'm traveling with all in one? I had a toothbrush. I have my own toothpaste. I do shampoo. Oh, I didn't even take shampoo. You know why? Because I also made my hair get used to normal water and different herbal essences again. So I don't even use this shitty crappy shampoo. So I haven't been using it for 7 years. Oh my God, my hair. I love my hair. I love my hair. I'm so grateful for it. Every day I'm like, oh, I cannot believe. Thank you, mom and dad. I love it. And life, like a little fairy dust from life. But yeah, the swapping from commercial shampoo to natural cleansing products, horrific. That took me the longest, and 3 attempts in total. 3 attempts. And again, I can take a lot of like, like I don't mind. Like when my hair is, it looks like I'm literally like, I sat there, I'm like, I know I look like homeless. I look like I, didn't shower in 2 weeks. I'm sorry. But I'm trying new stuff with my hair. And everyone at the media was just like, oh God, whatever. But that's a good one with the creators because everyone is a little bit crazy. So no one really cared. And again, like that's what I'm saying. Like, sorry, and now I look like I'm homeless and I stink. Sorry, it's just what it is. Like, sorry, I'm gonna put on a hat or what. So I don't really mind that too much, to be honest. What other people, I don't know, say and think and what, I don't know. That's their business and it's their opinion, and they can believe what they want. But yeah, it really annoyed me so much that I had to actually, it took me 3 attempts to actually get there. And now I haven't used commercial shampoo in like 7 years or so. And I'm so glad that I've tried everything, because now I can help you guys and I can tell you exactly what I did and why stuff did not work out and what I completely didn't know and what I wish I had known before. So stuff like that. And yeah, I do have now my I have different options, because I don't always actually have every ingredient here, or depends where I travel to, and sometimes I then stay longer than expected and I didn't bring enough and what. So I also have, for different locations in the world, my go-tos, which is amazing, which makes my life so much easier. So much easier. I don't know, I'm losing it here. I'm losing it over here. So I'm still in Spain. And it's very nice and sunny and very hot, but I'm feeling it like I should have probably recorded my podcast a little bit earlier. Now I'm like starting to sweat, so it's noon right now. But yeah, so basically I really love, every time I go somewhere, I love that I only use like one product, one of my serums. So I just had the black cumin, and then always my soap. So I'm very strict with the soap. It has to be one of mine, or I have 1 or 2 other brands I also trust. But yeah, I love my soap. Always have that. I always have my plant serums or my moisturizer. It's usually one or the other. And I also have the whatever I use for my hair usually with me. And so I travel with the lightest little plastic bag for my skincare ever. And I have the most healthy looking skin and hair I've ever had. And that was, for me back in the day, it wasn't possible. Like I could not see it. I didn't see it. I was like, no, I'm using all these products now. I'm spending so much money and I'm still not there. So how can I get there with even less products? And, for me, it was always this mistake I made to calculate, to view it as the value, the price of the product is the value. So the higher the price, the better the product. Unfortunately, that's not what it is. So in my classes, in my one-on-one sessions, I also talk you through that, how you can also recognize great products and how to also know when to, leave a product standing on a shelf. And just like simple stuff. I want you to be independent. I want you to know what's going on. I also want you to understand your body. I want you to listen to the communication, because we are constantly getting little signs and we are just not in tune with it. And that's so unnecessary. Yeah. So now I really like that it's very easy, very simple. I like simplicity. I love it. I love when it's easy and minimal. But the best, hey, it must be the best. Quality is like queen, and then there comes the functionality and just simplicity. So all that is very important, but it is the main focus always is on quality. But again, I would never carry 10 and more products with me ever. No, I refuse. No. So yeah, it makes me very happy, and I cannot believe that I got here, and I cannot believe that it's actually working, and I cannot believe that I didn't believe it could, So I really hope I could give you a little glimpse into a normal life, not an Instagram fake life, but as in, listen, that's what it was. And for me also, I did not believe it can happen. I did not believe that organic and sustainable mean a thing. They actually do. Unfortunately, they are misused a lot now, but it is actually, it's a good idea behind it. And you should always make sure to invest into good quality products. But it's not necessarily always over the price. And that is also what I realized. And now, knowing all that, it makes me quite angry how much money I spend on really not great products. Because these products also just used the same cheap ingredients a €2 moisturizer uses. And that made me angry. And but yeah, again, hey, I mean, that's their philosophy and their marketing, and everyone is allowed to do what they want to do. They have to put it onto the label. That's the law, and they do. And it is my job to be able to read the label. It is, to me, it's like signing a contract. It is your responsibility to read and understand the contract before you sign it. Otherwise, complaining later, oh, I didn't know, or I didn't read, no, does not count. So always make sure you understand the ingredients and the law. And then from that point on, you just, you will be able to help yourself. And I promise you, it's a lot of fun. So if you like that, if you want to read and hear a little bit more, I'm going to link everything in the description. I can also, invite you over to my website, check out my on-demand online classes if you like that. So I have very easy stuff because I want people to be able to really start immediately. So I created the basics classes. I also have one for the beach girls like me, like holistic sunbathing, what's going on and what's important to know, what's important to don't touch. So and I always have in mind, it must be easy to travel to, it must be very handy, because I hate when stuff is amazing, but it's very hard to apply, or it's like liquidy, or the packaging just doesn't really work. Yes, it's sustainable, but then it's like all runny and soft, and it's like literally destroying all my backpack or my handbag, and that's annoying and so unnecessary. So, I always make sure to, test everything beforehand, and then to kind of put it in balance, like what's now really important. Like, yes, it's nice to have the sustainability factored in, but it's also important that it's actually easy and handy for you to use. Because in the end, if it's not handy, if it doesn't come in handy, if it's super complicated, you're not going to use it. And then there is no point in creating a sustainable product if no one uses it. So, what's the point? So yeah, that is at least my approach. Make it easy for you, make it work and tailor-made for you and your needs. And yes, they might change over time. So I want you to understand how you can easily tweak a recipe, how you can easily adjust it to your family as well. Because I'm telling you, I'm going to save you so much money and nerve. You guys, the nerve factor. Oh my God. Yes, so you don't have to worry about skincare products or home care products. There are so many toxic ingredients we use for our home on a daily basis. And then there is the cosmetic and the skincare products. And then, it's just going on and on and on. But at least in this department, the home care, the skincare, just the wellness aspect of, hey, living a healthy life, I've got you covered. I really do have you covered, and I really try to make it as easy and sane as possible, because I know if you enjoy it, if you like it, if it really helps you, you will come back for more, and that's when you will change your life and the life of your family as well, because it is a lifestyle, it's not a trend. As I said earlier, don't do the trend. Create your own lifestyle and follow that. Now, with this in mind, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it helped. I hope you, have some new ideas and maybe some more motivation to try it out for yourself. I will see you, hear you on the other side. And thank you guys for joining in again. Until the next time, bye.